Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Today we are at SS United States, and specifically we're up on the bow, just forward and below the bridge, and this is the ship's builder's plaque. During World War II, most ships had brass builder's plaques that were etched at their respective Navy yards. The various Navy yards had foundries for doing that. We have no idea where New Jersey's builder's plaque is, if it was even made. Typically, that sort of stuff, while it might have been made with the ship, was not carried in wartime. So it is likely at some point during the ship's career, either then or during one of her recommissionings, it disappeared. We have seen the builder's plaque of the USS Massachusetts, which shows what they would have looked like on American battleships. And it's a pretty standard like brass square thing, and it's got the same information as this. But here you can see SS United States is on stainless steel. And that just feels more 50s. It's very different from the rest of the ship. It is interesting that because you got stainless steel on regular mild steel, you can see the corrosion all around it. But nothing too severe up here. Now, something very interesting here is you can see that the letters are engraved pretty deep for this part, but the name itself is very shallow. While this has been mechanically engraved, the top part has only been chemically etched. You see, there was a fight over what the name of the ship was going to be. SS United States cost about $78 million, with about $50 million of that coming from the federal government and the rest coming from United States lines that operated the ship. William Francis Gibbs, the designer, wanted the ship, the American ship of state, to be named United States. The US government, which was paying for the ship so that in wartime they could take her over, wanted her to be named anything else. In fact, during World War II, her near sister ship, the much smaller SS America, also operated by United States lines, was renamed to West Point before she was used as a transport ship. Even though ships are massive prestige symbols for their countries, it is relatively rare for a country to name a ship after themselves because they don't want their namesake ship to be sunk. And so the United States has commissioned a frigate named United States back during the Age of Sail. They did commission an aircraft carrier and now a amphibious carrier, both named America. But that's 3 ships completed over the entire 250-year career of the Navy. Very similarly, Germany built a pocket battleship named Deutschland during World War II, which was renamed Lutzow during the actual war. So the Navy doesn't want this name on here, but William Francis Gibbs manages to rush it through, and so you see the name plaque is made 2 separate ways. Why did the Navy want this ship? Why did they spend so much money on this ship? During World War II, we watched Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth, the 2 British superliners, both capable of 30 knots or more, transport up to 15,000 troops overseas. Winston Churchill said that their ability to move that many troops that quickly reduced the length of the war by a year. The United States' own similar ship, America, renamed West Point, could only do 21 knots, the speed of a slow battleship. And so even though she had massive troop capacity in wartime, she could not go nearly as fast. Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth did not even need to be escorted because U-boats could only do about 18 to 20 knots on the surface and as little as 7 knots underwater with the throttles open fully on their batteries to their electric motors. So they could not catch up with these cruise liners. I've even heard that they didn't even zigzag because they were able to go so fast. And so the United States watches this during World War II, and they decide that they want a ship like that. And that is the genesis of the SS United States. And so the Navy, with William Francis Gibbs as the designer, decides to make this ship. She's 990 feet long, so over 100 feet longer than an Iowa-class battleship, 101.5 feet wide, so a little bit narrower than an Iowa-class battleship. But she has a power plant that's capable of 240,000 shaft horsepower. Where older cruise liners might have taken a full week to go across the Atlantic, this ship could do that journey in just 3 days and a couple hours because of her high speed. And get this, they never actually opened the throttles all the way up to see just how fast she could go. While she made those blue riband winning crossings at about 35 knots, estimates today say that she could have gotten up to 42 knots or more if she had have ever opened fully up. So the United States, going into the early Cold War, envisioned needing to get massive numbers of troops to Europe quickly. And this ship was how they were going to do it, even against a modern Soviet submarine threat. In practice, that never actually happened, and aircraft rendered the ship obsolete. And so her title as the fastest cruise liner ever to cross the Atlantic has never been taken from her. And she has held that record longer than any other ship. And it's unlikely that that record will ever be taken. What do you think is the coolest design feature of SS United States? For me, I love the fact that her bow was reinforced because at those high speeds, she was essentially hydroblasting the bow of the ship with sea spray. So it was knocking the paint off. It was eating through the steel. I think that is ridiculously cool that we made something this big moving that fast. But what do you think? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support, and we encourage you to support the folks who made today's filming possible, the SS United States Conservancy, that is preserving and hoping to open this ship as a museum and attraction. Their link to donate is in the description below, as is a link to their social media so that you can follow their progress. You can support Battleship New Jersey by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about us and our channel. Thanks for watching.